Kan? Mami.
Dani live streaming cuy.
Ya cuy, gila cuy. Kapan lagi cuy?
Dani live streaming cuy.
Si preparing.
Yo, i.
Bener live stream enakan pakai Streamlabs atau OBS?
OBS lah, ngapain pakai Streamlabs? Streamlabs udah di ini anjir. Apa namanya? Streamlabs tuh gak banget lah. Halo Ilham. Anjing dititikin semua. Itu maksudnya tuh gue titik itu tuh kadang-kadang YouTube rese anjir. Dia tuh kagak nongol live setnya gitu. Jadi gue titikin aja gitu. Jadi biar ngelut dulu gitu. And yes, anyway, hello guys, selamat datang di streaming ini. Aku kan salah lagi ya. Halo guys, it's Dani dan selamat datang di streaming ini. Hari ini kita akan ngerjain sesuai judul yaitu quest. Aduh lupa lagi namanya. Namanya FAJAR 1000 Mawar. Tentu saja. Kita di sini disuruh untuk berbicara dengan Catherine, ya kan? Oke, intinya kita sedikit flashback dari quest ARCHON sebelumnya. Sebelumnya kita pokoknya talking dan mencari titik akhir dari samsara itu. Ternyata ketemu pemilik mimpinya adalah Nilau dan kita geplak Nilau, akhirnya bangun dan berhasil
Nilau digeplak
istilahnya gitu. Dan akhirnya kita berhasil buat yang namanya ngadain festival Cerberus. Gitu guys, jadi itu ringkasan yang kemarin ya. Kamu bisa cek streamingnya di channel keduaku. Kamu bisa lihat feature channel di channel ini. Sok atau silahkan. Wah, hoak banget nih, pasti agak preparing. Kelihatan banget tuh hoaknya. Anjing, ini udah pindah ya, hoak banget kamu. Ya, jadi karena kita mau ngerjain quest ARCHON di Sumeru. Dan sepertinya kalian tahu di Sumeru itu memang lama banget ngerjainnya. Gak sampai apa ya, gak bisa bentar lah istilahnya gitu, harus lama gitu. Jadi make sure untuk subscribe topi dan T untuk menikmati streaming ini. Jadi let's go, kita mulai. Aduh capek ya. Oh ya, aku lupa di sekali ini gue ditemenin di VC ada Bapak Glenn, Bapak Glenn. Ada Kak Glenn lalu sama Bang Redstone ya. Jadi
Oh my god.
Kenapa kita live streamingnya rada ngaret nih? Karena gue masih mantau streamingnya Mel dulu. Karena penasaran cuy di Fontaine ada apa gitu. Soalnya apa ya, di Fontaine tuh tipe-tipenya tuh tipe-tipe yang gue suka gitu, kayak hukum apa dan lain-lain gitu.
Aduh,
sangat tertarik.
Keep up.
Menarik
Sekali. Ya, pokoknya kita bakal berbicara dengan Catherine alias Kusanali. Loh, kok Catherine sama Kusanali emang sama ya? Lah kan enggak ya. Intinya ya gitulah, kayak ntar lihat aja sendiri lah. Ih, hukum. Iya.
kunya.
The world forget me.
Actually Nihito, aren't you?
Let the world
Ada Febri
forget me.
Sugianto, mantan kamu, astagfirullahaladzim.
Nggak boleh gitu, nggak boleh gitu. Ada saja.
And
Mari kita
Daniansyah,
WTCH.
did you save her? It's a really long story.
Takutnya.
Gila cuy, Catherine
Her consciousness is still weakened.
suaranya loli cuy. Gila. Aduh. Anjir lah, ceritanya panjang. Lah real kan? Nggak tahu lah, aku gak mau ikut-ikutan. Anyway ya, omong-omong PKI. Shit man, bodo amat. Ngomong PKI. Selamat datang di tanggal 30 September. Jangan lupa buat bangun pagi jam 3 tadi. Harusnya udah pada bangun kan, gimana?
Oh
Ada yang dobrak gak?
Aduh.
Kok ngeri ya?
Kira apakah ada yang mendobrak?
I mean, gimana guys? Udah pada nontonin G30 SPKI? Apakah hatam dengan ceritanya? Iya kan? Aduh. Aku sih udah bosan ya nontonin G30 SPKI anjir. Jadi ya udah hatam banget gitu. Kayak alur ceritanya tuh udah tahu gitu. Oke lanjut. Kita ke quest ARCHON ya. Males. Gue bilang di Medan ada satu. Apa tuh?
Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the traveler's favorite bench?
Kursi panjang favorit apa tadi katanya? Favorit traveler. Ngawur banget nih. Itu kursi keramat anjir, bikin pusing banget. Ya tadi IDK aku nggak paham yang mananya.
The wind rises.
Astagfirullahaladzim, kenapa buka ke dalam coba? Asli guys, ini pintu. Ini tuh kursi jahanam anjir.
Let's talk about Daniansyah first. It's such a relief that she's all right. After we parted on the last day of the Subscibe festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described.
Udah ya gitu doang ya.
Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Daniansyah could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control.
Chat. Dekorasi chat. Hapus. Mantap.
Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream,
Kursi
where
goyang,
both will
bodoh.
gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara. So it looks like we did manage to save Daniansyah in the end. And not a moment too soon. Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
True, NPC punya kekuatan anjing.
Both are
Ini
fine.
NPC bukan sembarang
Everyone
NPC nih, si
reacts
Catherine yang ini
differently.
nih. Yang kita tatapin ini bukan sembarang NPC nih.
Alright, you two must have a lot of other
Lah
questions
berubah
for me,
anjir,
right?
tadi Catherine, sekarang
After
Nahida.
all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward,
Apa coba?
I'll answer any and all questions.
Baiklah, kalian berdua pasti punya banyak anak, pasti punya banyak pertanyaan.
Ngedeteknya Discord asli. Coba stream.
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious.
NPC ini
dream of a
kekuatannya
huge
melebihi
tree and a
ARCHON.
red sky.
Anjir, ini ARCHON anjing. Ini sekarang tuh si Catherine tuh, ini bukan Catherine, ini Kusanali anjir. Yang sekarang kita ngomongin itu Kusanali, tapi dia lagi apa ya? Lagi minjem anunya ini Catherine. Lah kan si Kusanali dikurung, ditaruh di kandang ayam.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me. Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria. It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in
Nggak bisa.
Irminsul.
No.
Perhaps her
Hahaha.
last
Udah lah.
memory before she died.
Pakai yang ada aja.
As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
Apa?
Satu dulu.
Ya. Cukup kok.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from King Deshret.
Bener gila awak bola gila.
King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. Okay, so what does the message mean? I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it.
Body normal, voice slowly. Iya anjir, kan gua bilang ini tuh bukan apa, Catherine bukan sembarang Catherine. Ini Catherine tapi pakai anunya Nahida gitu loh. Apa sih anjir anunya? Gak ada bahasa lain ya. Kita harus anunya gitu.
But I believe this is the key to saving
Iya,
Irminsul.
kesadarannya
That's why I
astagfirullahaladzim.
kept trying to decipher it.
Ya Allah, mikir gitu aja lupa banget.
Nahida nge-hack otaknya Catherine.
Iya, kayak Nahida nge-hack kotaknya Catherine, guys. Ya intinya kalau misalkan ngomong anunya berarti itu berhubungan dengan kesadaran ya. Bukan anunya yang itu ya, bukan ya. Tolonglah ya.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick. Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain. The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Zubat's.
Soal tadi katanya si Api body normal voice slowly. Kita bakal masuk ke entry yang kedua, yaitu kok kamu mirip Catherine. Kita langsung coba klik.
To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness. How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Does this mean you can also occupy other people's consciousnesses? Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snjnayan
Ngantuk aku Dan. Tidur ya.
Silahkan.
Bentar ini. Bang,
Hai.
aku permisi ya bang, mau tidur.
Silahkan.
Tap.
Yo.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep dark secret? So Catherine is... No. Wonder Paimon felt something was off about her.
Dikasih tahu guys sama si Nahida guys. Catherine tuh robot. Boneka bionik dari SNES Naya.
body. Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Suristana? That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Suristana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since.
Oh, dia robot. Gua kira ya dia itu true NPC.
However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing. So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida?
Bahkan Paimon aja kesel guys, apalagi gua. Gua kemarin apa ya? Oh iya, benar pas streaming ya. Pokoknya kan intinya kesel lah gitu kan, anjing. Orang tolol mana yang mau ngurung Archonnya sendiri gitu loh. Astaga. Astagfirullahaladzim. Asli, anjir gak habis pikir cuy. Gila kata gue mah, anjir. Parah lah ya, para set itu letai memang.
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you. Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. There has never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line. I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they hope to achieve. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero's samsara, the situation could have become dire. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious, and all the people of interest seemed to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals.
Benar, so Nahida bisa masuk ke tubuh siapa aja? Apakah dia bisa masuk ke tubuh Archon lain? Secara harfiah enggak, soalnya kan gini, tadi kan kita isi Nahida itu kan Nahida bisa berpindah kesadaran asalkan para penggunanya masih pakai Akasha gitu kan. Kalau misalnya nih, kalau ke Archon lain, kalau misalnya Archon lainnya dipakai Akasha kemungkinan bisa. Cuman kan di sini kan masalahnya kan Archon kan emang mereka mimpinin negaranya masing-masing ya. Gak mungkin dia bakal meet and greet gitu kan ke region lain gitu dengan hal yang tidak-tidak gitu loh. Pasti ada tujuan dan san itu loh. Dan Nahida juga kan udah ngetegasin kalau misalnya dia tuh sangat amat mendukung kebebasan orang itu. Jadi bahkan dia juga lebih mending daripada ngambil kesadaran orang, dia lebih mending make boneka bionik dari SNES Naya ya si Catherine ini, karena kan Catherine kan robot, jadi dia begitu mengganggu dong. Tuh guys, kalau teori gue salah bukan dibenarkan, tapi harusnya seperti itu. Namanya juga teori, kalau salah ya sudah lah ya. Fenty mimpin negara gak bencana tuh. Kan yang mimpin sekarang kan bukan Fenty-nya, yang mimpin tuh si ininya, si Favonius, Connect of Favonius-nya. Fenty mah cuman jadi backingan doang, soalnya kan Fenty tuh diem-diem, kalau di Archon tuh diem-diem anjir. Yang tahu kalau Venti itu kalau Venti itu Archon tuh cuman Diluc doang. Biasanya nggak ada. Selain Diluc tuh nggak ada. Bener, Nahida cuma bisa masuk ke kesadaran orang yang pakai Akasha. Nah, oke. Sudah dikonfirmasi sama sepuh Nahida lagi. Sepuh Ilham ya guys ya. Venti hanya background semata. Iya, hanya background doang. Aku masih nggak paham dengan kata-kata ini. Aku mencoba melakukan investigasi di Akasa, tapi aku tidak menemukan sesuatu yang mencurigakan. Dan semua orang yang memiliki ketertarikan tampaknya dengan sengaja menghindari memakai Akasha terminal mereka.
I think they're deliberately trying to hide something. Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Kainari to join some kind of project. Could it be related? Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or
Fun
they'll
fact,
see me
Venti
coming.
adalah Thor. Waduh, kenapa bisa seperti itu?
You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams?
Asli deh kalau misalnya Genshin ada fitur ngilangin GUI gitu. Asli kenapa gue suka aja sama ekspresi di Genshin tuh. Karena kenapa? Suka aja.
Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up?
Sama-sama dewa yang suka minum anjir. Juga ya.
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection. Misdirection? The sage has convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru.
Manuk akal dan yang tidak dan tidak mas.
Even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their research.
Gila ya anjir akademia ya. Udah mengurung Archonnya, nyuri mimpi bikin dewa yang baru. Astagfirullah. Gak habis pikir gua sama akademia anjir. Allah. Aduh, jatuh mikrofon gua. Bentar, sabar. Mana ya biar enak gitu, gua nggak keganggu juga. Tes cek mic masuk.
Besides, Greater Lord Rukadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against this. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt.
Berarti secara tidak langsung berarti secara tidak masuk Dinglong sama dengan maling kundang. Maksud gue nggak ngerti.
By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero Samsara in the immediate future. Go and get some sleep.
Halo Ilham. Astagfirullahaladzim. Halo Ilham.
Ya.
Akhirnya ditemenin sama Ilham, Hori. Ntar gak lama lagi Api nih ngomong nih. Ilham.
Gue udah di live chat nggak disapa ya kok.
Tuh ada. Lah kau tahu. Yalah.
What a relief.
Lanjutkan Dani.
Lanjut, ya.
This is truly the
Kalau ada
Traveler?
pertanyaan gue jawab, tapi kalau yang gue tahu aja.
Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Langsung diputus gitu anjir, gak dibalikin dulu tubuhnya bangsat emang Nahida tai lah. Bocil emang rese nih satu nih. Asli ini abis minjem kesadaran nggak bilang-bilang gitu kan. Terus pas udah ngantuk langsung diputus, kagak dibalikin dulu badannya anjir.
Maybe you were
Masa minjem
sleepwalking.
kesadaran
You know
bilang-bilang.
you can't wake up a
Nah, itu.
sleepwalker.
Kenapa aku di sini?
We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
We've spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything
Allahu
from
Akbar.
her.
Ini misi apaan anjir, banyak banget.
We can't just keep waiting around like this.
Oh, kalau dilihat
Catherine
sih,
and pick up some work so we can at least keep ourselves
oke,
busy.
nggak perlu gue bilang lah.
Kenapa emang?
Nggak. Tapi lo beneran mau tahu apa yang mau gue bilang?
Apa?
Ya gue cuma mau bilang kalau bagian 2-nya udah hampir selesai.
Oh, bagian 2 itu berarti bagian 3
Ini kan lo bagian 2.
Bagian 3 sekarang.
Bentar lagi bagian 3.
Ini sekarang ini kalau gua tinggal ikutin target nih langsung ke bagian 3 nih. Kayaknya bagian 2 tuh yang ini kan yang si Catherine itu tuh sadar tuh. Itu udah bagian 2 udah habis tuh. Bagian 3 sekarang nih.
Ya bisa dibilang begitu.
Tapi di sini ada yang namanya lowongan Recruitment Corps of Trinity. Dan karakter di Hoyo yang Paimon but better menurut lu apa aja? Karakter di Hoyo yang Paimon but better. Ya pom-pom lah.
Pom-pom lah.
Pom-pom lah. Kita semua
debat.
sepakat.
Kami semua setuju.
Kami semua setuju
Pom-pom lebih baik daripada Paimon.
Iya. Satu clan atau satu server kita setuju bahwa pom-pom adalah yang terbaik daripada Paimon. Entah kenapa ya. Dari pandangan pertama pertama gila ngeri banget. Dari pandangan pertama sama pom-pom itu pertama emang apa ya udah positif banget lah gitu loh. Apalagi pas itu juga lucu dan gimana dan gak banyak bacot, itu adalah nilai plusnya. Gitu guys. Jadi gimana mau lanjut part 3-nya? Bagian 3-nya?
Lanjut lah, lu baru mulai juga.
Kita ke Adventurer Guild ya.
Untuk lu mau story dulu. Quest story.
Quest story-nya lama nggak ya?
Story siapa tapi ini?
Ini
Yang
lowongan kerja Corps of Trinity.
Itu siapa tuh?
Sandy yang mana?
Enggak, quest story siapa tuh?
FND.
Itu quest dunia aja bukan quest
Oh
story.
iya astaga, yang ini ya. Nggak ada. Nggak ada.
Coba lu ke pencet quest story yang di bawah tuh, bawah kiri.
Udah.
Nah, itu.
Banyak sih cuman belum gua buka.
Nah, pilih aja.
Nggak mau ah.
Jongli aja tuh, coba jongli.
Tidak mau. Aku tuh mau pakai di ini anjir di.
Kunci lu udah penuh kocak. Buka-buka aja dulu kalau lu nggak mau.
Masalahnya bukan gimana-gimana, gua gedek aja ngeliat ada tulisan quest apa tuh namanya tadi? quest story di sini anjir udah numpuk. Ini quest dunia aja numpuk gini, kesel juga liatnya anjir.
Nah, gue juga males quest ini ya. Gue lebih milih quest story.
Ntar aja mau quest ARCHON lagi kan. Ini quest ARCHON tuh sampai berapa bagian sih?
Sebelumnya kan di Inazuma kan sampai 3 kan?
Iya.
3 bagian. Kalau di sini sampai 6.
Ah, 6 serius?
Iya.
Serius?
Iya benar, bagian 6. Tapi kelar konflik tentang ini, tentang Kusanali sama Greater Lord Kode Kata itu di 5, bagian 5 kelar. Tapi ada lanjutannya bagian 6 gitu.
Yang sama si
Sebelum lanjut ke
Scaramouche.
Fontaine.
Yang Scaramouche itu yang 6. Bukan? Yang Scaramouche itu yang 6, bukan?
Apa tuh Scaramouche?
Ah, belum. Kok belum?
Apa Scaramouche?
Quest.
Apa namanya? Apa?
Wanderer sebelum tobat anjir. Sebentar tuh.
Maksud lu lawan Wanderer apa?
Iya, lawan Wanderer.
Nah, itu itu bagian 5 itu.
Bagian 5. Mungkin 5.
Bagian 5. Bagian 6 tuh udah di luar cerita Sumeru sih. Tapi kita misinya masih di Sumeru.
Oh, lebih ke ini ya, lebih ke
pendalamannya masih di Sumeru, tapi udah di luar masalah Sumeru.
Iya. Bentar aku mau buka
Di luar masalah sama akademia. Jadi nggak bahas soal akademia atau apa si Nahida lagi dari yang lain.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world.
Ya lanjut.
Even the wind cannot go on forever.
Berarti sampai bagian 4 kali atau setengahnya lah ya. Entah mengapa gue lihat di emoji gue yang muka orang ini semuanya kuning kecuali yang ini anjing hitam.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Pasti ada tulisan, wah ini baru nih Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Sumpah aku tuh masih penasaran sama yang ini anjir, yang nanti kita bakal meet up sama Dotore anjir. Meet up. Jelek banget bahasanya anjir, meet up cu.
Bingung gua.
Ya anything yang penting nyambung lah ya. Ntar aku ini kunci dulu nih. Mikrofonnya gerak-gerak mulu. Robot berpikir. Iya, robot berpikir. Heran kan sama.
Wait.
Siapa robot berpikir?
Catherine kan robot.
Oh iya, Po.
Lah emang kamu gak maratin requestnya?
Tidak.
Astaga.
And if possible,
Apa dia
please
bilang?
also use your camera to
Intinya,
capture the reaction of
kata
the
Nenek Hida
audience
itu
upon
kan,
finishing the poem.
Di yang tadi ada yang nanya itu kan, tadi kan dibilang itu kan intinya sih daripada gua ngambil kesadaran manusia, gua lebih baik minjem kesadarannya si Catherine, karena apa namanya, mendingan gua ya. Jadi gua agak lupa anjir. Pokoknya intinya dia lebih milih minjem kesadarannya robot boneka bionik dari SNES Naya. Nah itu boneka bioniknya itu perlu di garis bawahi. Bionik biasanya merujuk ke robot sih.
Oke. Aku mengerti.
What kind of commission is that?
Berarti apakah semua Archon mengenali Catherine?
I see. It appears that you're not
pasti.
interested in this commission.
Iya.
Catherine ini kan asalnya Adventure Guild ini kan asal dari SNES Naya ya. Ya udah itu aja. Dari SNES Naya itu aja, gak ada hal yang spesial dari itu. Kita soalnya tidak tahu nih ada apa nih sih itu di SNES Naya nanti. Apalagi yang Henry ya anjir, aduh gimana ya.
In that case,
Biasanya negara
please
Krayo
go to
kan?
Port Ormos and
Biasanya
convince
yes,
the
Krayo.
Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not any better.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask, just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the event?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Ah, ini bukan Catherine nih. Nahida nih.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head?
Ini mah Nahida ini iseng banget anjir. Ayo. Asli dah. Robot berpikir akhirnya apa teori api tentang robot berpikirnya dipatahkan langsung sama Nahida sendiri anjir. Ternyata yang ngomong itu bukan Catherine, sama gue juga, gue kira Catherine anjir, ternyata si Nahida bangsat ya.
From when she said, add Astra Abyssos?
Astagfirullah,
Astra
baru
dulu.
ngomong Astra Abyssos langsung dicabut loh.
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Subzerus festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children.
Udah lama-lama mirip sama si Ian anjir. Nah,
You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Subzerus festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday. Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity? No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time.
besok riset spiral udah pada siap. Aku nggak main spiral abyss yang ini. Aku spiral abyssnya masih trial yang floor ke-7 kalau nggak salah. Jadi belum kayak yang tiap mingguan di riset gitu loh, belum. Jadi mungkin sepuh rest nanti dia buat event lagi. Ya, intinya sih aku belum begitu masih buat mainin si spiral abyss. Plus karakterku juga belum ada yang dibuild, astaga, masih kecil banget.
Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsult's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Subzerus festival? So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sage's activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here. Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
Pinjam Catherine. Kenteng banget, kenteng kalau mau. Yuk, kita turun nih.
Too slow.
Let's continue our chat. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me.
Aku nih sambil apa namanya sambil buka Starel juga anjir. Aku cuma mau ngituin tugas doang. Soalnya
What?
aku nyambi sambil ngituin.
Barengan.
Yes, barengan, literally beneran barengan.
In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
Kata Honda itu udah ada pas zaman perang di nenek moyang Jepang.
Apaan? Kenapa?
Jujur aja gue gak menyangka kata Honda itu udah ada pas zaman perang di nenek moyang Jepang.
Terus,
Bapak ini bernama Honda Tadakatsu.
iya.
Kenapa? Gue heran kenapa random fact ya yang dibahas.
Lebih random lagi apa ya, role yang random dari yang random ya.
Lebih random lagi gue sempat mau mikirin soal 30 September aja.
Coba.
Kayak kenapa mesti diperingati gitu loh.
No way, that's too risky.
Dan
Oi,
Anda diminta menghadap presiden.
waduh. Sebaiknya saya mandi dulu.
Tidak perlu mandi.
Lancang sekali
Langsung saja.
Lancang sekali Anda.
Ini adalah urusan penting.
Sebaiknya saya mandi dulu, Jenderal.
Sudah ditunggu. Saya beri waktu 5 menit.
Baiklah.
Mau udah lihat video baru kita dah.
Langsung beda dunia maksud. Setan apa coba? Ah, ilah. Bentar guys. Ini.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives.
Gila guys. Nahida perhatian banget sama pelajar di mari guys. Nahida tuh kepala sekolah terbaik guys. Jadi kalau ada masalah dia gak bakal bilang saya punya hak untuk diam gitu ya. Kayak yang mana lah pula tuh. Oh urai anjir, gue kira naikin level. Astagfir. Banyak banget lagi, ah ilah. Kita urain aja deh, urai yang ini, urai sebiji. Bentar guys. Asli ini demi mendapatkan Stellar Jet buat nganuin Jing Liu Taknan Shadow. Oke. Mari kita hantamkan baiklah. Level ini pakai si Jadi iya, oke, masuk. Langsung kita tinggalkan saja.
Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Oke. Kayaknya nih di part ini kita bakal ketemu bentar, nggak tahu si Dani nggak salah kan, dia nenek anjir lah. Gini guys. Gue curiga entah juga ini benar atau enggak. Di part ini tuh kita bakal meet and greet sama Dottore. Iya gak sih? I don't know lah ya.
Nahida,
Alhamdulillah
you're
ya gue
super
dapat
smart,
banyak
so you already
spoiler,
have
tapi gue nggak tahu
something
di
in
bagian
mind,
mana
right?
bagian mananya.
Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
Gue spontan juga tuh karena spoiler mulu. Apalagi kalau lihat itu grup meme di IG.
Dore tetap mencari meme yang tidak
Dikit-dikit
jelas.
itu, dikit-dikit spoiler. Malas gue.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal. Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of
Kalau
gimmick
dari
to make
pendapat
us
gue
take
sih
your
habis
ideas
main
seriously.
quest ARCHON Sumeru, gue bisa bilang quest ARCHON Sumeru tuh lebih seru gitu. Yang paling seru.
Paling seru dibanding.
Ya,
Kalau udah ke
ya
Fontaine.
bandingin Mondstadt, Liyue sama Inazuma.
Lu udah ke Fontaine belum?
Fontaine gua baru masuk sih.
Baru-baru
Enggak.
masuk.
Iya.
Soalnya gini.
Udah agak jauh lah.
Pokoknya kan
Agak
gini,
jauh,
kalau
tapi bagian satu belum kelar juga.
Kalau soal seru atau enggak serunya ya kita tuh sambil ngobrol ntar. Kita ambil satu entry dulu ntar.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved.
Oke, lanjut. Soal ini ya, kenapa Sumeru itu lebih asik dibandingkan dengan region lain? Because di ini ya, di Mondstadt itu kan memang benar pada dasarnya dia itu prolog cerita pertama atau lebih ke konteksnya gitu kan. Sedangkan di Liyue itu kan dia bener sudah mulai ke Archon Quest kayak permasalahan dan lain sebagainya gitu kan. Intinya tuh di Mondstadt kita lebih ke pengenalan. Di Liyue itu kita mengenal lebih dalam dan permasalahan yang ada. Dan di Liyue itu permasalahan termasuk kita ketemu sama adik kita gitu kan, sama si Lumin. Lalu diikutin kita setelah itu ke Inazuma. Inazuma ini kan masalah dalam ini juga ya, masalah di dalam regionnya sendiri. Nah, abis itu tuh ada lagi nih yang lebih seru. Kenapa sih Fontaine tuh seru? Karena emang berat, topiknya tuh udah mulai berat juga. Apalagi Fontaine ini tuh pilar utama cerita di Fontaine nanti gitu loh, di Sumeru ini. Apalagi gelarnya kan dewa kebijaksanaan ya. Jadi kalau misalnya emang banyak hal yang harus kita pikirkan, memang berarti emang begitu cara mainnya gitu. Nggak tahu ya, pokoknya bener-bener aku tuh main di Sumeru tuh bener-bener rada stres dikit karena ya gitu. Ya aku agak sedikit blank, aku nyambi sambil buka HSR. Oke, HSR udah aku close, aku udah matiin HP-nya. Jadi lanjut, kita bisa 100% ngituin Stara lagi. Genshin. Sewis itu kah? Iyain.
Then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages. You're saying we should recruit a spy? Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Setaria? Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia?
Setaria tuh yang
We ran into her basically every time the Subscibe
yeah.
festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu. I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's
ya
assistant.
benar. Berarti benar ini yang kita bakal ketemu sama Dottore di quest yang ini. Karena kan kita apa ya intinya tuh kita bakal ketemuan atau meet up sama si Setaria, namun udah dapat yang diharuskan, tapi bukan kayak ketemu sama Setaria, malah ketemu si
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
Bagi aku sudah tahu, cuman kalau buat kalian yang belum pernah ngeliat story ini ya pasti bakal have fun aja.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes. From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems. Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore.
Itu dulu guys. Anjir lah, gatal banget telinga gue. Tadi tisunya mana ya? Gatal. Ya udah nih, udah. Kita sudah garuk telinganya, garuk. Pasti ganggu anjir kalau misalnya gatal gitu pas lagi earphone gitu. Ganggunya bukan main dah.
She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the
amat.
city.
Kesini.
Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance.
Ada pembahasan kayak sebenarnya kalau misalnya ada pembahasan juga ada pembahasan juga bakal nge-distract quest ARCHON ya. Tapi kalau misalnya nggak ada pembicaraan, misalnya ada suara apa? Pokoknya kalau misalnya ada pembicaraan kita bakal nge-distract quest ARCHON. Sedangkan kalau kita nggak ada pembicaraan kita bisa nge-continue quest ARCHON tersebut. Tapi memang agak sepi. Tapi nilai plusnya kan juga bisa ikut paham kok. Ya intinya kayak biasa, kalian komen aja nanti pas di sela-sela aku bisa bacain deh.
To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots.
Mati apa? Ah kan jadinya malah jadi quest dunia bang. Babi. Gak tahu ya anjir lah, kesel banget gua. Aku lupa, aku pernah baca ini atau pernah lihat ini di mana tuh di Instagram. Intinya sih dari sini tuh kita tuh ke bagian paling atas di akademia atau di Sumeru ini. Kita bakal ketemu dengan sebuah NPC. IDK lah ya NPC mah. I don't know lah ya NPC yang mana, kayak yang di sebelah sini deh. Sanctuary of Surastana. Aku agak lupa di bagian mananya, tapi ya udah lah ya, nevermind, lupakan saja. Kita lanjut ke ARCHON aja deh.
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we ask the fortune teller about Setaria? No, I already have enough information on Setaria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics. Talking style and... My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way. Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
Sikis ini Payaman ya. Mau dibocorin aja.
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods. Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Bener-bener belak-belakan si Paimon anjir. Menjelek-jelekan ARCHON Anemo, mempertanyakan kenapa Lord of Geo itu pelit dan berantem sama ARCHON Electro. Apakah itu termasuk menyinggung? Berantem. Gue masih nggak paham lagi penataan bahasa di Mario itu gimana anjir. Heran dah gue.
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Tolong ramal jodoh. Ilham. Pilih mana, tolong ramal kesehatanku atau tolong ramal jodohku?
Jodoh.
Jodoh.
Love prospects? No problem at all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people will fall for you. How could that be?
Orang yang berjodoh denganmu akan muncul di banyak banget jodohnya. Banyak banget jodoh yang bisa berjodoh denganmu. Kenapa bisa?
Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Harut marut apa kalian yang mengacaukan halau amalannya? Aku belum pernah lihat hasil ramalan seabsurd ini. Anak kecil.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
Berarti sudah resmi ya guys ya. Emang Aether ini memang suka ngeharm ya. Real cuy.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit.
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing...
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
Palingan bukan servis.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia, so she always comes by whenever she's out in the city.
Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
It's my duty to protect Samari's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right. I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the...
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
So, was that everybody?
Aku mau cuci muka dulu bentar guys, boleh ya? Agak tau kenapa aku mata aku agak sedikit sayu atau sedikit ngantuk. Bentar deh. Halo guys, aku kembali. Tadi itu udah semuanya ya.
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Setaria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Setaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibility. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the faith of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Setaria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages. So how do we set that up?
Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Setaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Setaria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to possess anyone.
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But what?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Ya, Bang, mau ikut bossing nggak? Weekly boss. Mau dulu. Besok siang jam 12 sampai jam 18. Besok siang atau repot? Tak setel hari bolong.
Oh,
Poin gue.
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Yeah.
Oh, here she comes. Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
Paimon's starting to feel kinda nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Sembunyi macam apa itu, tai?
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong? I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
Almost got it.
Marut dan Marut ya. Sama yang kucing ya.
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods are asking. Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Setaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Untung aja. Nyarisnya.
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset too.
Well done. Setaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really.
All I know are some abstract Harava-taught theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything.
Asli tadi scene tadi tuh anjir bikin orang tegangan gitu. Gue nengok gitu pas lagi nih mereka nyembunyi itu gimana cara sembunyinya anjir. Astagfirullah. Gila. Anjir Nahida keren sih.
Anyway, enough of that.
Bener-bener tadi tuh anjir.
Let's hurry and catch up to
Tegang
Setaria.
banget. Pas lewat pas depannya dia lagi. Duh.
Is that a game chance now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
Ini.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Mampus dah gue ini gimana lagi.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I... Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I've been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay him a visit. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Setelah telinga tuh apa namanya? Malah jerawat anjir nongol.
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this!
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming, but once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything.
Come on! Sataria's already started talking.
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well!
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who worked side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more.
Please, please stop!
Nah mental guys.
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do?
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away.
Please, try to remain calm, miss.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Setaria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price.
You must face the truth, Setaria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared.
Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Oke, seharusnya sekarang Snahi.
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Subzerus festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see. Let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
Ini nih, kita harusnya bakal ketemu sama Dotore gitu kan. Begini aja, kita begini aja. Kita pakai aja metode primitif. Besok malam utus aja orang yang untuk mengambilnya di gerbang
The Academia entrance.
Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Setaria to our side!
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. He's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Setaria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of the Scholars? No. The truth is the true Guardian of Scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
Besok malam. Udah. Kan jam 10. Besok kali ya. Apakah kita lanjut besok? Kita lanjut besok, guys. Semakin yakin lanjut besok.
Udahan.
Rencananya sih udahan ya. Soalnya mau lanjut besok soalnya udah ketemu sama Bapak Maharaja Dotore.
Siapa?
Maybe ya.
Oh, dokter.
Dokter. Gimana? Jadi apakah ada hal yang bisa untuk digunakan ingin macam untuk menaikkan something? Ke hari Sabtu. Oke, bisa. Angkatin baru aja. Kita apa namanya? Kita nge-arte ya guys ya.
Too slow.
Know your place. I hear everything.
Squall and Fury.
I'll uproot you! And Shroud! order guide you. The wind rises. You dare to gaze upon me? Can't see? Behold! That's far enough! You're dead!
Adakah kayak
Quit following me.
Gather!
What the fuck?
Wind rises.
Dikerumun.
Unsightly insects. Behold.
Lightning flash! Thunderclap! This is order. Stabilize.
One with the force. I hear everything. Wretched vermin.
udah cukup harusnya. Ada ininya, ada rewardnya kalau udah sampai 10.
Relax.
Reward apa? Persahabatan?
Persahabatan ada rewardnya anjir.
Baru tahu gue.
Sama gue baru tahu.
Quit following me. Cry louder! The wind rises. Ha! Ha! Cha! Cha! Squall and Fury. Too slow.
Bellowing Thunder! Take this! Order guide you.
I'll uproot you! The wind rises. Bow your head. And shroud. Let's nip that in the bud. Behold. One with the force.
Mana ya gadis cat tuh? Ada. Terus yang ini tadi ya, yang borgol ya, borgol. Tuh. Ini.
Osmanthus.
Oh iya.
Itu kan kebiasaan banget dah, ini grup sekolah dah. Grup kelas. Info dicampur aduk sama yang jelas-jelas. Aduh, ambilkan dulu.
If you press a leaf between dry sheets of paper, you can make an attractive and handy bookmark. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all part of the learning process.
We have put in.
Asli ini nih kagak ada yang beres bangsa. Berisik banget, berisik. Gas muter. Ya perabot.
Don't push, pull back.
Main kowe ham. Oh gitu. Apa namanya? Ham.
Apa?
Buat naikin level apa sih itu namanya?
Dunia.
Bukan.
AR.
Bukan. Level yang karakter itu apa sih namanya? Bukan section, bukan.
Apa tuh?
Persahabatan.
Ah.
Persahabatan itu lo bisa naikin pakai Serenity pot.
Apa?
Pakai tipot. Serenity pot. Jadi lu buat ningkatin itu kudu pakai Serenity pot.
If you ever
Gue baru sadar soalnya. Oh iya ya, gue kan masukin Wanderer ke jadi salah satu pengunjung di mari gitu kan.
Keep up.
Ini hal yang lagi nonton 2 orang
we
yang
have
lagi
put
nonton.
in
Beli anjir, salah. Tuh apa sih? Aduh, habis ya. Banyak nih.
if you ever
Kurang satu sih, lanjut besok lah ya. Demikian aja. Alright, that's it. Itu aja untuk streaming kita hari ini. Kalau bagi kamu yang ketinggalan atau 2 orang yang ketinggalan dari sini, kau bisa rewards lagi. Intinya kita dalam satu streaming kita hari ini kita cuman ngandaliin apa ya, meet up sama Nahida. Terus kita diisingin sama Nahida dalam tanda kutip. Sama Catherine, sama Catherine dalam tanda kutip ya. Intinya kita cuman ngeyakinin pembantu dalam tanda kutip lagi, pembantunya para Sets Academy ya. Jadi kemungkinan nanti pokoknya tadi kita apa ya, kita disuruh buat ketemuan di bagian depan gerbangnya,
depan
rumah akademia ya,
Pak.
depan gerbangnya akademia. Dan kemungkinan besar ya kita bakal ketemu redaktor, I don't know, tapi kurang lebih
The value of knowledge cannot simply be quantified.
Kalau kamu suka dengan streaming ini, kemungkinan esok akan streaming lagi, mungkin di siang atau malam hari lagi, aku nggak tahu. Pokoknya subscribe aja, atau kamu ini juga aku juga kurang tahu mau live di channel ini lagi atau di channel kedua. Intinya kamu bisa join Discord, linknya ada di deskripsi, kamu bisa cek sekarang. Jadi thank you semua udah nonton dan juga udah nemenin juga di VC. Salah satunya adalah Reston, Ilham dan juga Amel tadi. Saya thank you semua yang udah komen juga, seperti apa si Api juga ya, sebagai apa namanya, apresiasi Api dan juga Nadis. Jadi yes, itu aja, thank you guys, goodbye, good night.
If you press a leaf between dry sheets of paper, you can make an attractive and handy bookmark.